and welcome to Making It, Artisan Stories. I'm Linda Marie Colon, your host, and I'm here with Amanda Ward. Amanda is a multimedia artist. So if you want to go ahead and tell me what exactly that entails.
Basically means I do a lot of different things. I work with illustration, I paint, I sew, I do ripped paper portraits and collage work, and I make craft. I dabble with a little bit of everything.
Well, it certainly looks like you do, and I see a plethora of your art here that you brought in to show our viewers. And if you want to get started, maybe just starting right here on the table,
Sure.
Let me know what the actual medium is and then how you came about putting all of this together, because you are a trained artist as well as an artist who's perfected their passion through various media on your own.
Yep.
For a variety of reasons. So you can tell the story as you show us through.
Right in front of you, we have some of my animals, which are my most recent pieces of art. What this starts with is illustration on paper, and then I coat it with different layers of ripped tissue paper, and then I paint the top of it in circles. The circles are always done with a
mason jar, I think?
A mason jar,
Earlier,
yep, or a spool of thread, or I use like a little paint cap, just whatever makes like a perfect circle.
So just by dipping
decide
it
on
in,
the paints
you're
that I
creating
want.
this.
Yes, exactly. So it got there slowly. I started out just sketching with lines and practicing feeling the ink on the paper, and the meditative aspect of that is just sort of everything around you is noisy. Everything around you is hectic and uncontrollable, but you can control ink on a paper. I can control ink on a paper, and sometimes that's all you need to sort of balance you out and quiet everything down and be able to concentrate. I had a baby 6 years ago, and I suffered from postpartum depression and then ADHD, and I found that nothing pulled me out of a funk. Nothing made anything feel right. And through therapy, obviously, was able to get myself better, but art therapy seemed to be what really made everything click. You know, being able to sit down in a quiet space with myself and just draw.
And it sort of allowed you to center your focus, kind of calm your thoughts, and anything around you kind of came to a screeching halt because your focus really is pen on paper, or
scientists have called it flow. And it's really just this mundane act of doing. And some people find it ironing, some people find it cooking, some people find it just sewing or cleaning, or just anything that's a little bit repetitive and doesn't necessarily take much thought. And in doing that, you sort of find peace inside yourself. And there was a lot of not having of peace that I went through for a few years. And I found you could sort of follow a timeline of when I was doing art and when I wasn't, and you sort of see my own mental health improving as the more art I'm doing. And now I'm sort of bogged down by it. Not really, but because I'm fully immersed in it.
From a medium to media. And if you want to show us the rest of these, because I see back here a little bit of fashion that's caught my eye that has some of your talent.
After you draw for a while, you get to a point and you're like, okay, this is nice. I'm going to stop. You know, maybe I won't add any tissue paper. I'm just going to add the paint. And you come to something that you like, and you take a step back and you say, okay, that's it. I found that by taking photographs of my work, I could see it just a little bit different. Take it from a third dimension to a two-dimensional digital image.
Okay. And so you're taking a photograph once you complete, or you're nearing completion.
Yep. And then I found a website that will print it on fabric. And so I found I could take a picture of a painting.
So you're creating this fabric from your own original artwork.
Yep.
And you found an outlet that will print that out so that you can then take it to another level, which is constructing a dress like this.
Yep.
So you make your daughter's clothes.
Or a jumper like this one.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
Yep. So I took a spatter painting that I had on canvas, and I took a very clear shot of it. I had it printed on, this is a polycrepe de chine, a really, really soft beautiful flowy fabric.
Oh, it certainly is.
And then I found a pattern for a jumper. I have a friend who's a model, and she's sort of my muse. And I had her dimensions and sizes, and I sewed it for her, and she got it and tried it on, and it turns what is a still and sort of calm art into a more dynamic form. So you can see it moving on a body and catching the light in different ways. So you can't necessarily see just on a canvas in a room.
All right, so you've taken it one more level and stepped it up to a mobile form of art.
Yep. She's my walking canvas.
I was going to say that definitely looks like it was custom made.
Yep.
And she definitely is your walking canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. What else do you have?
I did another one similar that I have a few different prints of. I have notebooks that I've printed, and behind you there's a maxi dress that I made from the print.
Again, the original pattern is drawn by you.
Yep, it was ink on canvas this time, and then acrylic paint on canvas, using the circles and smears and a little bit of spatter painting, and then ink. And I took a nice clear picture of it. I uploaded it to the internet. Send you anywhere from a yard of the fabric. You can get a bolt of the fabric. You can get whatever style fabric you like. You can upholster your couches in it if you want to.
That's amazing, and it really is an original, one of a kind,
Exactly.
truly unique. And I'm also seeing some collage work.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk to us a little bit about the collage work that takes your multimedia definition one more level up.
This one right behind us is vows, actually. For my sister's wedding, I took the handwritten vows that they wrote, and I wanted to make them something really one of a kind as their wedding anniversary present.
So if I look closely, I do see handwriting.
Scraps of paper, yep. And then I painted over it with acrylic paint, and there's only one or two spots that I really love about this painting. It's still sort of a work in process. But what I've done with those pieces that I like so much is I've gotten zoomed up photographs of them, and I've been able to print them on coffee mugs.
Oh, wow.
And
for an everlasting piece. Okay, so you transferred them.
Yep, and this pillow right here, this is a throw pillow with that rose on it. And then this is a satin that I plan on making a dress for my daughter with.
Oh, it's nice.
There's websites out there that are really geared toward the artist in the digital age and finding ways to take just a print that maybe somebody would buy, but maybe somebody wants to buy art, but they are young and they don't own a house yet, so they don't necessarily have walls and are in a place where they can collect art. But wouldn't it be great if that person could buy a shower curtain with an artist design? And so I found a website that will take your digital image and print it on almost anything. You know, they can put it on yoga pants. They can put it on a gym bag, a throw pillow, which I have a few examples of here, on notebooks, blank notebook, or mugs, on tote bags. This is my llama on a tote bag.
So you were able to take the llama, which was ink, tissue paper,
and then acrylic paint.
And transfer it and create a tote bag out of it.
Yep.
So more mobile media.
Yes. I have tote bags that have been printed by websites like that. And then I also have tote bags that I've just made from scrap fabric. I do really enjoy sewing because, again, it's that repetitive sort of get you out of your own head kind of motion. So
you were saying you did some in-depth sewing lessons that taught you the full composition of the sewing machine, which is so fabulous that schools are still teaching sewing lessons.
Yes.
And really just you went back to school because you're a costume design major from college.
Syracuse University. I went to school for costume design, and my junior year I actually got the chance to study at London College of Fashion through Syracuse University. So I got to take a millinery class, and I got to take a purse making class, and they really teach you the ins and outs of sewing. And so many people learn how to sew, but then they forget to thread a bobbin, and they figure, I can't sew anymore, or it's scary, the machine breaks, it's frustrating.
Right, it's almost like becoming computer savvy. You're sewing machine savvy, where the ins and outs and all of the features and attributes, you're using the full machine to its,
to its full potential.
Full potential.
Learning to use that sewing machine has made home life even easier, just sort of getting back into the use of it. My daughter is a rambunctious little girl, and she loves twirly dresses. And I was at a store and happened upon some fabric and was like, I'm gonna make her a dress. And
I was going to say, this is one of hers, and
yes,
this is
that
one
is
of your works of art.
Yep, one of her dresses. She has a ball gown that she wears to school sometimes, and
Sure.
it's satin and it's pulling and tearing. It's not really lined properly, but she doesn't care, and her teachers don't worry about ruining it because it's made from
well
scrap
loved.
fabric. It is a well-loved dress, and if you step back and look at it, it's a really nice dress. It's just scrap. But I've always sort of envisioned a life of whimsy for her. I want my daughter to go out and have fun and be a princess if she wants to be a princess.
Sure.
But
On
then
any given
roll in
day
the dirt if she wants to roll in the dirt. I can't do that with a $50 dress that I buy her that she's going to grow out of in a month. So with a dress that I make her, then if she ruins it, that's okay,
Right. I think that's a great philosophy. Now tell us a little bit about the ripped paper portrait makes. One behind you and
Yes.
one behind me.
So it's actually my daughter behind you, about a year and a half ago. Ripped paper is like the ultimate sort of get out of your own head concentration thing. I had a project in college where I created something, and it was really well received by my friends and family. It had taken a long time, so that's probably why it was well received, because I worked really hard on it. One of the things that I had set out to do with all of this, with trying to sort of clear my head and be artistic, was work on being better. Faces are never very easy for artists. When I had time, I would sit down and really try with a glue stick, and you rip out the colors that you're looking for out of a magazine or a catalog.
Okay, I was going to ask you, is this starting from a photograph? You have a mixed medium going on here.
Definitely,
because
yeah.
I see
There's paint in that one. There's, yeah.
I see magazine pictures.
Some of it is just what I could find in the magazine. Some I had to sort of create elsewhere, draw the color on a piece of paper, and then rip it and glue it. This one I started by drawing the eyes myself. So
that's beautiful.
So
that's
the eyes
really
are drawn.
Intriguing.
Talked about the eyes here.
Yes.
So this is hand drawn.
Wow.
But then everything else is sort of ripped paper.
I see how this eye is like purple.
Yep.
Did you purposely change the colors?
I think so.
Reflect, and then I see you kind of pull it out.
Yep.
And include it.
And so you see, like, there's this. Her hair is all made of pants. I just found tons and tons of black pants, of denim pants in a magazine, and just ripped out a leg at a time. So her hair is all like.
Oh my God! And you made it like for their dress. So your attention to detail is incredible.
It's amazing considering the ADHD that I have. I mean, the fact that I can concentrate on something like this is a miracle.
Yeah, you seem to be able to have reduced that.
Yes.
Because of the detail you're putting in, and you're telling me you have the patience to rip apart leg by leg.
Yep.
Where some of us might just take the scissors, and you literally have to make
sure.
Yeah,
but you find whatever colors work and sort of piece it together. But it takes just disciplined concentration. It takes so much time. So I think I've only maybe completed 4 of them over the course of the last 2.5 years, because now, with a 5.5-year-old daughter running around and a full-time job, there's just not that much time to really dedicate to it. And once you get into it, it's like a puzzle. You don't want to stop.
I was going to say, and once you are in the zone, if you will, you're constantly creating because you have an idea, and you might start off with ink, and then you might start off with adding a little bit of color. But then it sounds like if you find another way to embellish it, you do. So if it's not dipping mason jars into paint, you're ripping up scraps of magazines, and you're kind of repurposing fabric and using different media in order to repurpose, reuse. And it's almost like you're recycling too. So a lot of your materials.
Using them over again if I can. And I even had an idea this year to do this sort of style, but create a Christmas card set. So I have a holiday card, and I set out, I'll show you if you want to see it, one of them. So I started with the regular size drawing.
Oh yeah, there. Show us the bells and the bows and the berries.
Okay, so this is, you can see that there's texture in here.
I see. Okay.
Right? To sort of bring out the shadow and everything in there. So you see where I crumpled up the tissue to sort of make it a little bit thicker, just to give it a little bit more depth. It's actually Mod Podge.
Oh yeah.
So which is virtually glue, and so it started out with ink just to try to get the texture and everything, and then very light acrylic paint over the top, like hardly any. And I did that. I did a reindeer, a Christmas tree, and a wreath.
Okay,
and then
I think
they're all in this set. Yep, they're all in this set here.
So that's a mix set.
And it's a mixed set, and so you see the wreath down here. And I put it together, and it's 4 of each card, and then envelopes and seals. And so, you have your little handmade Christmas card set that you can give to people.
Mm-hmm. And they, in turn, can show off your art and at the same time write their own verse on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're always coming up with ways to put your medium.
Trying to make it, just put it out there.
How else are you sharing your art? Is this through social media? Do you have a following? What other platforms do you prefer to show your work and perhaps take ideas? Do you get commissioned for work?
I do. I have an Instagram account, and I have a fair amount of followers from that. I have a lot of friends that are just very encouraging because I did go to school for art, so we all sort of help each other when we can. Mm-hmm. I have a website, and I take commissions through the website and just through sort of point of contact as I meet people. Mm-hmm. I've met people at craft fairs and just at the brewery where I work. I've been commissioned because of things like this to do like a giant moose that sits over somebody's mantle in their main house.
Oh, that's incredible.
A big abstract piece that's just the stick. Oh, sorry, I call them sticks and stones. Sticks and stones.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that's the sort of nickname
for the style that I do. I call it sticks and stones. I had somebody that wanted just a giant black and white sticks and stones abstract piece, but with just bits of color in the circles. And that was real mason jar circles here and there, and 2 feet by 3 feet. So it's right over their couch in their living room.
They kind of give you an idea what they'd like to see, and then from there, you have your own creative freedom that you can apply.
Yep. It's the first time in my life I've ever had people like ask me to make something, which is like, that's wild. Just really cool.
So you've kind of taken going back to art from your schooling to using it for art therapy, for postpartum healing. And now you've found that you've got a following and you have folks that are asking you for different pieces. What do you find is the most popular?
The animals, definitely. I have people ask, can you make a sloth? Can you make an antelope? What about a dragon? Which I can't wait to do. The dresses are sort of a passion project because they cost too much to print the fabric.
So the fashion can be pricey because of the material. You have scarves, bags, there's mugs, there's pillows, depending on where you're showing these. You've got festivals, and like you said, you're at the brewery. As well as on your website. It's just
people pick and choose what they like. Yeah,
they like.
What I really go through is the prints, just because it's an affordable way to have a nice piece of art that you like in your home.
Right.
The throw pillows will end up being presents. They'll end up being presents for my family members. I think it's a really cool idea that you have this one pillow that's sort of a work of art. If you don't have room on your walls, you can put it on your couch. Put it on your bed.
And repurpose it, change rooms. So it's like moving art around and sort of redesigning or redecorating. And it's just a matter of just having accent pillows and brighten up a room at the same time.
The way this particular website works, which is linked to my website, is they sort of have their own choice. They can make it into a big throw pillow, a small pillow, a tote bag, a mug, whatever they want to see it on. If they're the type of person that hosts parties all the time, they can print it on a serving tray, a food serving tray. And then the guests will see it, and then it'll be a nice conversation to start with the guests.
Absolutely.
If they're the type of person that, has big pieces of modern art, they can have it printed on like 3 blocks of wood. And it's, so you can have like the llama printed across 3 blocks of wood. And again, that's just, they have a little bit more control over the medium that piece of art comes to them in.
So it's something you can collaborate on. It's versatile, and it seems like the options are endless. And it becomes your art.
Yeah.
As far as the recipient.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they can
personalize it, sort of.
Incredible.
And it's nice because, every artist I feel like I've met at these craft fairs I've been going to, this is their second or third job. And they're doing it because it makes them not crazy, They're doing it because they have to. They have to
focus,
get it out.
Get some energy.
And they're good at it, and it's nice to be good at something. If you go home and you make soap, and maybe you go out and you don't make any money off of it, but you're good at it and people give you great feedback, that is value. It adds value to you. This website and the printing it on things like this sort of makes artists in this day and age a little bit more reachable. It makes our work a little bit easier to sort of get out into the world. And feedback is really just healthy, you know.
And you can do that through social media because people can request, people can comment, you can post something that you want to share and kind of get a feel if that's going to take off.
Yep.
And if it's one of a kind, that's fine too, because as you mentioned, when you're creating even the material, you're not stuck with a whole bolt of material. You're getting a piece, or depending on the project, you're sort of dictating the size. So there's no waste.
Exactly.
Which
you
is
get
great
exactly
for sustainability.
And
It's definitely something that works well because you can either repurpose it if you do have extra, because since you seem to be always thinking of different ways to show your art, you can turn something with extra material into a scarf. I can see that you have smaller scarves, and then behind you that looks like an infinity scarf, as well as the bag and even, the pillowcases either side. You can have a diverse
Yep, you can make
look
use
to
of
it.
all of the material that you have. Make
So
it
very
all
little
repurposed.
waste. I think that's a positive. I think that out there are a lot of people that want to buy and buy local, and knowing that it's sustainable and that the materials you're using, it's a feel-good product as well.
Yep.
So what you're doing is really just almost making scale, making it per order. If you try to do that with, say, a big box company or something of a large brand, well, no, we can't make just one.
Right.
And you're saying, yes, I can.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting. Yeah, you're happy to. It's a unique product. You probably have repeat business, but I think that it's important to see that it's not waste, but it's absolutely doable.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of cool that you can offer somebody something that's really one of a kind, that's affordable, you know?
And attainable. And it's really not, if you're going to make something custom, well, you're really going to pay for it. And you're saying, no, it's actually doable. You have relationship with vendors and you can make it happen. So I think that actually produces a relationship between you and the person that's requesting it. So it's very personable.
Yep. I find that fans, people who appreciate my stuff, they get me. And I feel like after speaking to them for just a few minutes, I feel like I know them, Don't hide the mental health thing. I think it's important for people to sort of, have an open conversation about it. Most people say, well, why did you start with just lines? And well, it's medicinal, it's meditative, it helps, quiet the rest of the world out. There's an uncomfortableness surrounding depression that I don't think should be there. I think if people get depressed, it's almost healthy, especially healthy for those of us who are depressed, to talk about it. People who talk to me about the art, they almost feel instantly like, by connecting with this person, I'm almost helping her, So, and it does, it really does. Even just going to craft fairs and have people that you don't know smile at you, it's just the sensors in your brain that it hits that trigger endorphins and dopamine and serotonin. It's good for you. So
that engagement that your work is bringing to the eye. And I think that also people that are finding your work is helpful on both aspects. It gives you project work, and then those on the receiving end are seeing what goes into it. And the amount of focus and concentration for you is tremendous.
Yeah. And my friends that take home pieces of my work, like they know me, that I'm just this crazy mom who's just like trying to scrape by. And I think they like the sort of the chaos that goes into it and the calm that comes out of it.
Well, I think you've definitely found what works for you. And those on the receiving end, definitely enjoying the fruits of your labor, and you're sharing your skills with everyone else who's definitely enjoying these forms of art. And to have more than one choice and the versatility is tremendous. So.
Pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Amanda Ward from Hamden, Connecticut, multimedia artist. I'm Linda Marie Colon, host for Making It, Artisan Stories. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your time and for visiting us.
Thanks for having me.